Hey everybody, how you doing? Hopefully you're having a great day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value, and if you like making money, this is the channel for you. Subscribe to the channel. We look at a lot of commodity type investments because that's what's cheap right now. And if you like this content, give me a thumbs up, help me out. Maybe leave some comments if you've got some comments or questions about this content. So today we're going to talk about technical analysis. I call this seeing power. And power is it's basically distance traveled over time. So it's work over time. So that's the power. And what we're looking for in these charts is we're trying to look for power in the charts. And sometimes, I mean, it's not too difficult to see. I'll break it down for you. I'll show you some charting that we've already done in the past on some companies that worked out pretty well. I'm going to show you a couple companies that I think potentially could be very powerful. Just looking at the charts, I didn't do a deep dive in the fundamental analysis on it, but the charts themselves are like, wow, this could be something powerful. So I'm going to go into it and I'm going to show you what I'm looking at for seeing power in charts. So the first one is SM Energy. This was one that we invested in on the channel. I did a kind of a fundamental analysis video or just looking at their presentation, and then I looked at the technicals, and this is obviously the technicals here. This was the chart that I was doing real time. I did it many times throughout a bunch of different presentations. I just grabbed this one because it's just past the point of a breakout. So again, we've got a step change here. One of the things I look for is volume. So I look at volume all throughout, and yes, we do have some volume. But really, I mean, if you look down here, this is below a dollar. This is like 50 cents. It went from 50 cents all the way up to about $7 in 2.5 months. 50 cents to $7 in 2.5 months. That is a 14 bagger in 2.5 months. Now, this one would have been difficult because, well, it did contract, but you'd really have to be sticking your neck out to buy it down here. But this changed. You can see the buyers came into, they basically controlled it from here on out. and what I'm looking for is I'm looking for large up days and a big move to the upside that's very powerful. We've got this big move here, big move here, big move here. I'm seeing all these big, large candlesticks. I see it bullish engulfing, but it's a big move and big candlesticks higher, and then the leak out of the sellers over time. But this right here, this big move higher, is the power of that stock. And I think that power, it showed us, the buyers showed us how much power was in this company just from this 2.5 month period and how far it went up and how fast. Then the leak out of the sellers, and then eventually it came back up very powerfully. And this is now an $11.50 stock or $11 stock, somewhere around there. But it came all the way back up, and we purchased it right in the $1.50 range. Now, this isn't here to say, oh, look, we won or whatever. I want you to focus on this power move here in the beginning, and then the slow leak out. It's like it needs time to basically compose itself for a big move higher. So that's SM. This is another SM one, just showing the buyers and what happened afterwards. And this still is up at 11. And this right here is a cup and a handle pattern that broke. Now, we've got Centennial Development. If we go all the way back, this is below 30 cents here. And it went all the way up to, oh man, like $2.20 right here, this big move higher. This was the lead-in for this cup and handle pattern right here. This move, this powerful move, shows us how much power is in this company. It's very powerful. And we want to look for this power because really this is where the returns come from. Is you see this powerful move, it does a consolidation. I call it the slow leak out of the sellers. This developed a cup and handle pattern. And this thing, I think, is over, it's like $3.30 right now. $3.30. It's just blowing upwards. And this is the beginning of 2021. That's not that long ago. So if we can identify these patterns, if we can see the power behind the pattern and identify the patterns, and we can use this analysis early enough to identify companies, I think we can get some very good investments that will return outsized returns. Here's another one. This is Tilray. This one was after the breakout. I was even doing videos down here of it, around $5, $6. But see this downtrend? I mean, this was a steep downtrend. It had the blow off bottom. It came up, and then we've got a higher low, then this one, and then another higher low. And it was compressing up against this downward channel. And then we had a breakout. And right now, I think it's in the 20s or 30s right now. Maybe even, yeah, I think it's like $20 or $30. But anyway, look at the power. Look at how this thing moved off the bottom. It went from $2.50 to $10, right in less than a month. It was boom, that shot higher. So we're looking for this power in another company to see, and catch it maybe at this bottom down here. That's where we want, or somewhere in this range right here before it breaks. So let's see if we can find one. And I found two companies. This one is Lightbridge. It was recommended by a subscriber, and thank you for talking about LTBR, Lightbridge. And this is what I'm seeing. We've got this nice, huge, volatile moves coming down. I mean, look at the move here. This is from a little bit, like $12 to $35. And look at the volume here. And then the slow leak out down. Still leaking out. It wasn't ready back here. Now, we're coming down. We're putting in this gigantic pattern here. This is all the way back to 2017. And I want to zoom in on this area here because it looks like a very interesting area. Another thing that I want to point out is look at the volume over here. Look at that. Someone is buying the living hell out of this. What is going on over there? I mean, look at that volume. That is huge. Let's dive in. Hey, what is this? This is good old cup and handle. Now look at the move here. This is $1.50 down here, so it's a little less than $2. And it went all the way up to $8. And this is like a month. So it's got a lot of power back there. Leaked out. Another boom higher. Now these moves that are going up like this, we call this, it's power, but it's also momentum. It means that the momentum is changing. The buyers are starting to twist this downtrend into a bottom. And that's what I look for. I look for these big up days, these big moves, and then the slow leak out of sellers like this. See how there's no big down days here? Outside of maybe this one. Big move higher, slow leak out of sellers. Big move higher, slow leak out of sellers. And what are we forming here? Is this a cup and then a handle pattern forming? I think it is. Now, look at the volume on this side. God, this volume's huge. Someone is acquiring this in mass. So I propose that this would be a very good opportunity to be looking at an investment in LTBR, if you like LTBR. That's Lightbridge. It's a uranium enrichment fuel company. So this is, for me, this looks very good, and I've accumulated some shares in it just in case this thing were to go vertical, or break out of this thing and really start to move, because we've got people accumulating it in mass. I mean, the volume's huge here. And we've got the power behind the stock, which is very powerful. So that one looks good. Now let's apply this to another one. This is Westwater, WWR. And one thing that's spectacular here is look at the steepness of this decline here. We had to move up, but it's still in this decline. We're still getting lower lows. We're still coming down. We're still coming down. And all of a sudden, it just flatlines right here, flatlines. And then we see the big move in. Boom, boom, huge volume. Kick this thing up. And look at the volume. Look at the volume. Someone's buying the living hell out of this. Let's zoom in. What is this? Is this Mr. Cup and Handle? Now look at the volume here. Lots of volume. It's under accumulation mode. Someone's accumulating the hell out of this thing. But look at this. Big move higher. This is a buck, a little bit over $1.50, all the way to almost $12. $1.50 to $12 in, I don't even know, 5, 10 trading days. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 trading days that it went from $1.50 to almost $12 in 6 days. That's a lot of power. I mean, a lot. Now this thing pulled back, and then another jolting move higher with the volume. Boom. and then the nice slow leak out. Boom, this thing is just getting hammered forward. The power behind this move is dramatic. And now it's putting in a cup and a handle pattern and just broke out. This one also looks quite compelling to enter. This thing looks great. Enter from the upside, cup, handle, and then the break up. This thing could move quite a bit, I think, just based off of the power at the bottom here. So that's what I look for in bottoms. And if you guys have a bunch of commodity companies, if you have rare earth metals, if you've got any sort of oil and gas, if you see charts like this, put them in the comment section. Let me take a look at them. I can share them. I'll give you my opinion right back. This is free for everybody. Go out and scan a bunch of charts. If you see these big moves higher like that, these big pop-ups like this one right here, how it goes up, let me know. All right? Put it in the comment section. I think we can get some really good investments out of here, and especially if it's in a commodity arena where we've got the inflation pushing us from the back. So, thank you for listening. If you guys like this content, subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. I just gave you 2 picks to do further analysis into. I only did the technical analysis on this. I did not do the fundamental analysis. Westwater is a graphite. I think they're mining graphite, and they've got some projects. Or perhaps they're doing the graphite processing. They're putting in processing facilities or something like that. So take a further deeper dive into it, but the charts look very good. And if you guys see charts like these, put them in the comment section, please. I'll do more analysis on them. I'll share them with the entire community, and maybe we have some more investment picks in the future. And it's okay if it just does one of these big moves and then it's still down here in making its bottom. So that's fine too. So let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.